Alright guys, welcome back to another episode of Lone Wolf, the game book adventures written by Joe Dever. With me again is Karzie.
Hello.
Hey. So last episode we completed book number 2, Fire on the Water, and it turns out the fire that was on the water was us holding the summer sword and nuking a fucking tent from orbit, an orbital strike on the Darklord. We didn't even have to do a combat and roll any of that bullshit dice. We didn't even stroll up to the tent. We were like one mountain away, pointed our sword at that motherfucker and blasted him to Kingdom Come. Oh my god.
Now if only we could do that for like the rest of the story. You know we're gonna lose that sword though.
I mean, it's the Summer Sword, so we needed to defeat the Darklords, and we've only beaten one of them so far, so there's plenty more to come.
Okay.
So
all hopefully we'll be able to keep it.
All of this story so far is mostly the same. Okay, so I'm going to start reading it. In fact, I'll skim through it, because there's some bits that are new and some bits that are the same. So, as we know, we're Lone Wolf, for the last of the warrior lords of Summerland. 1 year ago, the ancient enemy of our people, Darklords, they invaded Summerland and completely devastated the Kai Monastery. That was book number 1. All Kai warriors were massacred. Then we fought our way to Holmgard, the capital, and then the king gave us a mission to go get the summer sword from Duranor, and we sailed across the ocean, and we had a little adventure along the way. So this is the new text now. Much of the Summerland was ruined by the war. The rich farmlands were laid waste and many towns were razed to the ground. But the Summerlending are a tough people and were undaunted by the enormous task that lay ahead. They set about the rebuilding of war-torn Summerland with such determination that now, 1 year later, few of the scars of war remain visible. The crucial part that you played in the victory... oh shit, no, sorry, I did skip a bit. My bad. Our mission was fought with great danger, for Summerland had been betrayed by one of its own magicians, Vonotar the Traitor. His agents sought to kill you at every opportunity, but your skill and strength defeated their evil aims. You returned to Holmgard at the head of the Great Fleet, the allies of Duranor, and destroyed the Darklord army that besieged your capital. That was the orbital strike. That bit there.
Yeah, that traitor dude hired people to throw rocks on our heads.
Yes,
big
and
rocks.
We mistakenly killed, or accused Ganon and his brother, because, you know, Ganondorf, evil name. We also accused the warrior lady.
You have an evil name! You must be the evil guy!
Yeah, we also accused the warrior lady because it was poison, and poison, as we theorized, was a woman's weapon. And we also accused the merchant. Well, actually, you accused the merchant because you wanted the money. I said not to accuse him. So we literally we went through all of the people until we got to the priest, who... Now that you think about it, in hindsight, and look at those drawings, which only ever show his one fucking eye from the left side. The guy who served us the meal only had one eye, and the guy in the hood has one eye. I wonder who poisoned us. I think that's what it meant to pay attention. I was trying to pay attention to the text and see if there was anything given away. It was the fucking drawing, man.
Yeah, we should have known, but I don't know. I think the merchant was still a good pick because he could have easily hired someone. That's what merchants do.
He had no money. He had no money, and we killed him. We only got like a couple of crowns. The warrior lady had like 42 crowns when we killed her. All right, so we defeated the Darklord. 1 year later, we've rebuilt, or some lendings have rebuilt. For the crucial part you played in the victory, the king has bestowed upon you the rank and title of Friar of Summerland, a rare honor for one so young. The ruins of the Kai Monastery and much of the surrounding lands are now Freiland under your protection. Work to rebuild the monastery was about to commence when disturbing news from the north prompted the king to summon you to the capital. Many merchants returning from the summer trading expeditions to Kalte told of the fall of Brumelmark, the leader of the Ice Barbarians. The description of the hunchback magician who has succeeded the fierce Brumelmark fits only one man, Vonotar the Traitor. After the defeat of the Darklords, Vonotar escaped to the frozen wastes of Kalte. He made his way to the ice fortress of Ikea, where, though through deception, he tricked the cruel Brummel Mark into adopting him as his magician. It was a mistake that was to cost the barbarian leader his fortress and his life. The news that Vonotar still lives spreads like wildfire throughout Summerland. Thousands of Sumlending surround the capital and demand that Vonotar be made to pay for his treachery. So great is the outcry that the king is obliged to promise that the evil traitor will be brought back to Holmgard and made to stand trial for his crimes. For you, Lone Wolf, the king's promise is the start of a quest that will pit you against a hated foe deep within the hostile caverns of Kalte. Alright, so there's our flavor text. Flavor text, is that the right word? Our introduction to the story. Alright, so
Yeah.
we're keeping all of our skills from before, so our action chart should show us. We still have our daggers, 33 combat skill because of the summon sword, and 20 endurance points, which is the lowest amount possible. This is a really bad roll, man. We're gonna die so much because of that. Okay. So if we successfully complete any of the previous books, we can carry over combat skill, endurance, and Kai disciplines, and any weapons and special items that we have held. And we can choose one bonus Kai discipline. I think this is the part where I will let you pick our 7th ability. So we have camouflage, tracking, animal kinship, and mind over matter.
Well, we haven't come across much mind over matter stuff, but one thing I have noticed is we get like pretty vindictive when something bad happens to us. So we want to like track down whoever like stole our shit or whatever, or whoever screwed us over. So I'm thinking tracking, so we can track down whoever screws us over.
Yeah, that would have been useful in the last book when we got jacked by those fishermen, the very first playthrough.
Yeah.
Because that guy accidentally slipped on the cobblestone, and then we got the ring back, which is the main quest item, but we lost most of our weaponry at that time, and gold. So, yeah. Tracking is definitely a good choice. Alright, so, this is for you to read.
Okay. Before leaving the northern port of Anskaven, you are escorted to the city hall and equipped with special winter boots, a tunic, a fur-lined cloak, and mittens. We got mittens. You are given a map of Kalte, and a pouch of gold. To find out how much is in the pouch, pick a random number.
That's decent.
43. Now add 10 to the number you have picked. The total equals number of gold crowns inside the pouch. You may now enter this number in the gold crown section of your action chart. If you have successfully completed previous Lone Wolf adventures, you may add this sum, yada, 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 yada. Remember, you can only carry 50. Before you set sail, you are given a choice of following items, in addition to those you already possess. Remember, you may only carry 2 weapons. You may take any 2 of the following. Sword, short sword, padded leather waistcoat, which is probably what we'll pick. Spare mas, wahama, axe. Potion of Lamper. This restores 4 endurance. Oh, it's a potion.
Yeah.
Quarterstaff
so
special ration. Special rations. This counts as 1 meal. See how to use your Or
I think it just means normal. It's just a meal.
Okay. I'm definitely gonna say the padded leather waistcoat.
Yeah. Hopefully, you don't drown and have to take it off again.
Yeah.
And what else do you want?
How many rations we got?
We have a meal of lamp sport and a potion of so we've got 1 meal, which also gives us extra health when we eat as well.
I'm gonna let you pick.
I think the potion is the best choice. We've already got our double daggers.
Okay.
Everything else is a weapon or a meal. So potion of lamp spur. We've got low health. We're gonna take damage throughout the journey for sure, and we're gonna need to heal it as soon as possible.
Okay. Sounds good to me.
All right, so we've listed it. Carrying. This is all the same. Oh. Okay, read this bit about food.
Food stored on your ice sledge along with your tent and other equipment is enough food for you to complete your mission. If this food or any you may have in your backpack is unavailable to you and you are instructed to eat a meal, you will lose 3 endurance points. As Kalte is an icy desert, you will be unable to use the Kai discipline of hunting to obtain a meal.
Holy shit. Okay.
No!
Not to fear, not to fear. Okay, so what I'm going to do for the crowns, I'm going to deposit half of them again. I'll deposit about 20 of them. I won't need to start with that many. I'm going to go into our storage and withdraw 2 meals. Because we stored them last time, remember?
Yeah,
like a whole bunch of meals.
That's probably a good idea. Won't be able to hunt.
Yeah,
Can't even eat a penguin or anything.
I'm wondering if this is too many. You know what? No, it's pretty decent. We're going to use the potions anyway during combat, so we're cool. Alright,
Yeah,
so we have my
maybe
shield, and we have tracking. Fantastic. Let's go to the next. Rules for combat is all the same. Levels, so we should now be at a Guardian level at this moment.
Guardian Lone Wolf.
So the betrayal can only be avenged by bringing the traitor to justice. Alright, let's do this. Level 1. Even before you accepted the task of bringing Vonotar to justice, preparations were being made for your voyage to Kalte. The captain of the Somlending warship Cardonal have returned from a long Kalte sea patrol was ordered to await your arrival at Angsthaven. During the night, food, ice equipment, and canoe dog teams were taken on board. The mission was highly secret. Only senior members of the crew were told the true nature of the voyage that lay ahead. What the fuck is a canoe dog? Is that like Keanu? Keanu Reeves' dog from John Wick.
That would be the coolest dog ever.
The plan is...
Keanu dog.
It reminds me of that film Keanu with the cat. And then one random point in the film the cat talks and it's Keanu Reeves' voice. Oh god, that was a stoner film. Anyway, the plan is to set you ashore at Hal Bluff. Drop anchor and await your return. An elite team of trusted guides will lead you from the bluff to Ikea. Once inside the ice fortress, you are to hunt down and capture Vonotar, and then return with your guides to the ship. Your mission must be accomplished within 30 days at most, for winter is closing in, and no ship can withstand the grip of Kalte ice pack. Pack ice. Ice pack.
Winter is coming.
Oh yeah. I might put some Game of Thrones references in to do with winter. If you do not return in time, the captain will be forced to set sail without you. Also, we'll put some Frozen memes in as well.
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
Let us go. Let us go.
Let it go.
For 6 days, the Cardinal sails across the stormy Kalte Sea without running into a storm. But every day, the temperature steadily drops until a layer of ice covers the decks. On the morning of the 7th day, the snow-capped island of Tola is sighted on the horizon. Soon after, a light wind rises from the west. At first, there appears to be little danger, but within half an hour, a furious blizzard is blowing, and all sight of land quickly vanishes in the scudding drift. All day, the furious gale rages. Tremendous winds slice the tops of the huge grey waves, and water crashes over the decks, masts, and rigging of the ship, freezing almost immediately into solid ice. The sides of the ship become several feet thick with seawater. It is not until early evening that the weather clears, and although the wind still blows strongly, the force of the gale is spent. And there's our ship, bounding along in the waves. You are soon to discover...
A little rinky-dink ship.
Yeah, it's getting buffeted by the huge waves. You are soon to discover that the gale has blown the ship nearly 30 miles off course, among the lip of the I'm not going to pronounce the L. The Juk ice shelf. You know that to return to Hal Bluff would waste a precious day, so you decide to land on the ice shelf and start your mission from there. As the last of the Keanu dogs are carried ashore, your guides tell you of the 2 possible routes to Ikea from there. The first route involves a 130-mile trek to Cloudmaker Mountain, and then following the difficult terrain of the Viad Glacier, a further 100 miles must be covered before you arrive at the ice fortress. The alternative route involves a longer journey of nearly 180 miles into the Rod Basin, followed by a trek of 100 miles through Storm Giant Pass to Akaya. Even if the weather and your luck hold good, either route will involve 10 days of hard trekking before you reach your goal. You should consult the map of Kalte before making your decision. All right, so we got Viad Glacier and Hrod Basin and Storm Giant Pass. So let's take a look at the medals. What the heck is it?
We could get achievement rewards?
Yeah, if you get through the book doing certain things, like avoiding fights or least number of pages. So there's our ship.
Oh.
We're trying to get to Ikea. So we have this is the Viad Mountains and Storm Giant Pass, which is the longer way, and we have the shorter way around. How was it? Viad Glacier.
No, the shorter way is Viad Glacier. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, where's that? Is it? Yeah, Viad Glacier. This is it in the middle. So if we go down the middle with the frozen over river, that's quick, and we can we can go through the mountains and the giant pass if we're gonna go on land with a bit longer. So shorter, more difficult, or longer, easier?
I'm gonna say let's take the easy route.
Okay.
Why not? You are to travel to IKEA by sledge. 2 sledges have been loaded with enough food and equipment for the mission, each drawn by a team of 6 Keanu dogs. This sturdy breed is native to Kalte and make ideal sledge dogs. Their thick, tawny coats and powerful chests, as well as their renowned vigor and enthusiasm, make them well suited to the harsh work ahead. So they're huskies. Got it.
Pretty much.
Your 3 guides, Iran, Fenor, and Dice, are all experienced trappers. They are skilled at survival in this icy desert and have experienced its many unseen dangers. Once the dogs are in harness, you and Iron climb aboard your sledge and signal the others to lead the way. Staring across the frozen expanse of Lujuk ice shelf, you see a white glare of the Hrod Basin ledge. Ice blink, they call it, says Iron. Oh. His eyes glinting from the deep inside the hood of his fur jacket. It is a reflection of the ice shelf. It looks no more than 4 miles away at most, but it is nearly 40 than 4. Nearer to 40 than 4. The air of Kalte must be very deceptive. Or can be very. I can read. The weather is bright and windless. You make excellent progress on the first day. As darkness sets in, you decide to set up camp for the night. The sledges are drawn together, and the tent is erected in a silent way from the wind. If you have discipline of 6th sense, which we do, which has been like the most useful thing ever.
So it comes up like every other prompt for an ability.
Yeah, it does.
You get an uneasy feeling that someone or something is watching you. You leave the tent and peer into the night for some sign of life, but the snow and darkness hide everything. Reluctantly, you return to the tent and go to sleep with one hand by your weapon in case of a surprise attack.
Oh. When you awake, you sense that something has changed. It takes nearly a minute to realize that the incessant howling of the night winds have ceased. It is a beautiful morning, says Iron cheerfully, his head appearing through the tent flap. You quickly climb out of your sleeping furs and stare out over the light, icy landscape. Have you ever, just stop for a second, have you ever, slept on fur before?
Yeah, there was a fur quilt once in a hotel.
Was
nice.
It comfy? It
okay.
sounds really comfy, to be honest.
Yeah. It works better when it's when your mattress cover is also fur. If the quilt's fur, it's good. It's good. But if both of them are, well, the hairs, they trap heat because hair traps heat. It's supposed to.
Yeah, that is cool. The Kalte air is fresh and clear. You see a strong mirage in the distance. It seems to throw the land up much higher than it could possibly be. We should make it to the rock by nightfall.
Smell what the rock is cooking.
We'll get his autograph, says Fenor as he busily, oh my god, busily pulls the reluctant Keanu dog into its harness. Best to make camp there tonight. The shelter looks good. This is far from the sea. A blizzard can whip across the shelf from nowhere in a few minutes. I've known trappers to be blown for miles if they are careless or unlucky enough to be caught out on the shelf with no cover. That day, the Keanu dogs pull strong and true, for the going is smooth across the ice shelf. By nightfall, you have reached the rock, a splinter of granite that has thrust through the ice shelf. It is a curious shape that reminds you of the King's Citadel and Homeguard. You make camp to the leeward side of the rock and avoid the worst of the night winds. Pick a random number! Uh-oh, we got a low one. Doesn't always mean a bad thing, though.
Well, early on, it's not necessarily too bad. At least it's not a death. You probably like lose a couple of endurance. The following day, a strong wind rises from the north. Hour upon hour, it blows relentlessly into your face. The Juk ice shelf becomes a mass of twisted slabs of ice, jutting upwards at every angle. Progress is slow and difficult. By midday, you are shivering with cold. Your lips are cracked and bleeding, and the icy blasts have covered you with a thin film of snow. You steer your sledge through a narrow passage at the edge of the ice shelf, where it meets the Harad Basin. Here, you are sheltered from the wind, and for the first time today, you can see ahead quite clearly. The hell is that thing? Suddenly, shrieks from above warn you they are not only creatures seeking shelter here. Within seconds, 3 large Baknar jump from the ice wall and land with a crash on the sledges. Your fellow driver, Arian, is thrown against the ice and collapses unconscious. You are prevented from going to his aid by a hungry, carnivorous Baknar. There is no hope of evading it. You must fight it to the death. Let's take a look at it.
It's like a little Yeti.
Look at that thing. I hope that's not us sprawled out on the deck. Probably him. What's his face? That other dude.
Irkanor or whatever his name is.
What the hell was his name? Irian. That's him. That's probably him. Okay, so we're going to fight the Baknar. Oh, wow. We're going to destroy this thing.
Oh, yeah.
We still got the Summer Sword.
Oh, yeah.
It's got quite a lot of endurance, though.
Yeah, it might take 2 shots.
Exactly right.
Wow, exactly, yeah. If you win combat. The heavy beast rolls off the sledge and lies motionless on the ice. Fëanor has managed to light a torch and is thrusting the flaming brand at the other 2 Baknar. They are terrified by the fire and quickly turn and flee. You cheer as they disappear and turn to congratulate your brave guides, but are stunned to see that they have already started to skin the dead Baknar. You watch in disgust as Dice opens the beast from throat to belly with a sharp hunting knife. He quickly pulls back the white fur and scoops out handfuls of thick oil from under the skin. Oh. The smell of this oil is horrible. So horrible, in fact, that even the Keanu dogs bury their noses in the snow to avoid it. You cannot believe your eyes when the 2 guides start to rub this vile oil all over their faces and inside their clothes. This is my Facebook picture. Baknar oil! Shouts, oh, that's not Fëanor. Baknar oil! Shouts Fëanor enthusiastically. Nothing like it for keeping water dry. He pulls his hand from the dead beast and offers you a fistful of the putrid jelly. If you wish to accept his offer, or if the thought of smelling like a vat of rancid cheese does not appeal to you. I don't know. I don't really want to smell like cheese. But it probably is the wiser decision. Just, I mean, if they're doing it, they're experienced in this land. There's probably a reason why. Unless we're just being duped.
The smell is revolting, and you try to desperately hold your breath as you smear handfuls of the slimy grease inside your jacket. They were treated with Baknar oil. Gotta make a note of that. As the oil penetrates your skin, you feel a warm glow as if you were near a fire. The more grease you apply, the warmer you become. You also notice that the awful smell is gradually fading. When it's soaked into your skin, you lose your sense of smell, says Fëanor. Just as well, replies Dice. I don't think I could stand living with myself otherwise. Bacchanal oil gives excellent insulation from the bitter cold of Kelt, and it may save you valuable endurance points in the near future.
Yeah.
Irian gains consciousness and is soon scooping out the Bacchanal carcass for himself. Light is now fading fast, and you decide to pitch camp in this narrow pass. You prepare a meal, and then you each take it in turns to sit watch, just in case the Bacchanal decide to return. A little footnote here about the smell fading. You may wish to note the fact that you have put this oil on your action chart. However, it does not take the space of any item and only affects you for the duration of this adventure.
Oh. So we smell like dead Yeti.
Yeah, but we can't smell it, so it's fine. Now we just have BO that everyone else can smell.
No deal. We're fucking, super champions. We're
a little bit of right guard here and there. Should be fine.
Yeah. The next morning arrives bright and wind. Oh, wait a minute. Did it? Oh, never mind. The next morning arrives bright and windless. The sun pierces the thin layer of cloud, bathing the east in a soft pink glow. Pretty. The beautiful vision reminds you that your Kai masters once told you about the light of Kalte. It is unlike anywhere else in Magnamund. With tent and equipment packed, you leave the pass and venture out into the Hrad Basin. 100 miles of open ice now lie between you and Storm Giant's Pass. At first, the journey is easy. The basin has been worn smooth by the wind and no crevices lurk unseen beneath the hard, dense snow. But at the dawn of the third day, events take a turn for the worse. You are awoken from a deep sleep by Dice shaking your shoulder. He is frightened. We actually speak. This is like the first time we spoke.
Yeah? How do we
What
sound?
do we sound like? Yeah.
We just sound like ourselves.
What's wrong? Yes.
Yeah, that clearly sounds like you.
It's sleepy.
Ice barbarians on the horizon. 20, maybe more. 5 wind sledges and a warrior's escort. I think they've seen us.
In an instant, you have all climbed out of your sleeping furs and begun to pack away the tent. Dice is correct. They are ice barbarians, and they are heading towards you from the west. If they catch us, they are good. We are as good as dead, says Fenar, as he ties the last of his equipment to the sledge. The ice barbarians of Kalte are fierce and warlike race of nomads. For thousands of years, they have traveled this icy wasteland, trapping furs and herding mammoths. Their only contact with the rest of Magnamund is through the trading post of Lijuk. In summer, when the coast around Lijuk is free from ice, the journey there to trade their furs for weapons and tools and there is no iron or wood in Kalte, as there is no iron or wood in Kalte. They hate all except their own kind and kill anyone they find who dares to trespass into their icy domain. You soon hear their war cries less than 3 miles distant, and for the first time since you landed, you pray for a blizzard to hide your escape. We are spooked.
You have covered less than a mile when the first of the Ice Barbarian scouts appeared to the north on skis. At first, there are only 2 of the fearsome warriors, but they are soon joined by 3 others. They are large, muscular, and bedecked with furs. Never heard that word before, bedecked.
Yeah.
Some of them wear bone armor.
But
Despite their size, they glide across the snow with an almost feline grace and speed. Each of them has a pole attached to his back, from which a small flag flutters. Suddenly, a bone-tipped arrow whistles past your knee, arrow to the knee, and embeds itself in the sledge. See, this guy did it before it was cool. An ice barbarian scout skis past to your right. He is less than 10 yards away and you can clearly see his slanted eyes and sharp cheekbones. You suddenly realize that what you had mistaken for muscle and fur is in fact an ice barbarian child. Each scout is carrying a large backpack containing a small child. These children are armed with small bone bows and they fire a constant stream of arrows as their fathers ski nearer and nearer. Little fuckers, let's shoot them. Look at this, oh my god.
I'm like, oh, that's cute. They got their own little bows and they're trying to kill.
That's a kid. That is not a kid. That's a fully grown midget.
Yeah, that is. That knows.
Ugh. Suddenly, Irian falls, an arrow buried in his back. Dice runs to his aid but is shot down before he has taken a dozen steps. Fenor is hit. An arrow passes straight through his throat. He bravely staggers on. Oh shit, I'm getting a phone call.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Where am I?
Welcome back.
Sorry. Alright, sorry about that. He bravely staggers on for nearly a minute before collapsing in the snow. You are on your own. An ice barbarian scout skis past to your left and returns towards you head on. He has a spear under one arm, which is leveled at your chest. If you wish to fight the ice barbarian scout, 158. If you wish to try to escape, 149. What do you reckon?
I don't think we'll be able to escape them. They glide like felines across the ice. They're gonna catch us.
Alright.
So I say fight, yeah. As the ice barbarian scouts on its skis, you will only be able to fight one round of combat before the momentum of his attack carries him past you. So fight.
We only get one round to fight. He's got 20 skill.
It's okay, we got 34.
Oh wow, he's dead.
Wow.
So, if you sustain higher endurance point loss than the enemy, 165. If the ice barbarian loses more endurance than you, 271. If you lose exactly the same, 337. We killed him.
Yeah.
Your attack has caused the ice barbarian scout to lose his balance. He tumbles in a flurry of snow and broken skis. The fur-clad child rolls clear of his father's backpack and lies face downwards in the snow, less than 10 feet away. The ice barbarian scout is badly dazed by the fall, but is already attempting to stagger to his feet. If you wish to attack the ice barbarian scout before he fully regains his senses, 241. If you wish to grab the child as a hostage and try to escape, turn to 262.
I'm gonna say you pick this one because I'm down for either one, but I don't know about the child as a hostage thing. Sounds messy, but
Thing is,
it could be good.
that child can attack. Wait, child face down in the snow. Yeah, he's face downwards, 10 feet away. He's dazed. Okay, the adult's the bigger threat at the moment. I know the child's got a bow and arrow, or some arrows of some kind, so it could be bad to go for the adult. Because this is my thought. Like, if we go for the adult, he could shoot us while we're trying to get him. If he does manage to get his face out of the snow. If we try to go for the child and escape, again, that has its own dangers because he can still attack us. He doesn't have any close-up weapons. He has ranged weapons, but he's 10 feet away. He could get up and attack. So either way, it's a bit of a gamble. But I'm gonna go kill the dude.
Vendetta! Vendetta! Vendetta for me, Papa!
Okay. The ice barbarian is on his knees when you enter combat. He cannot react to your attack during the first 2 rounds. Ignore any endurance points you lose during the first 2 rounds of combat.
Fight!
Ooh, this guy might get killed in one go.
Yep. Ooh.
That might be it. Yep, it's a kill.
Yep.
The dead ice barbarian's child cowers over his father's body and stares at you with hatred blazing in his eyes. You notice that the other ice barbarian scouts are closing in, and you must act quickly to save yourself. You decide to use the boy as a hostage, but he is like a wild animal. He bites, scratches, and kicks to free himself from your grip, so we should have just attacked. Got the kid, after all. Inevitably, that's what we did.
I guess we acquired a child.
We're making note of it.
Child get.
Put him in the backpack. Because, he's in a backpack on his dad's back. Why is he not in our backpack?
Strap him up real tight. You manage to hang on to the struggling child and remove a bone dagger from his boot to prevent him from stabbing you in the back.
We got a
The
third
ice
dagger.
barbarians. Oh, yeah. We could use more daggers in case we lose them.
But it's strange that it's not telling us to add this to our armory.
Oh, yeah, that's right. We can only carry 2 weapons anyways, so...
But even in the text,
ice-
like, just getting the bone dagger, surely it should be an opportunity to add the dagger to our weaponry, our arsenal.
Maybe it's too small for our hands? Maybe it's
Yeah,
too
good point,
child
actually. It's a kid, yeah.
Maybe.
Two picking our hands.
The ice barbarians have drawn themselves up into a circle around you, but they dare not attack, while you are holding one of their children as a hostage. Holding the bone dagger to the child's throat, you slowly inch your way towards the sledge. You soon realize that you'll never be able to outdistance them on a loaded sledge. You'll have to think of something, and quickly. If you wish to cut the equipment loose and free the ice barbarian child and escape with the unloaded sledge, go there. If you wish to cut loose the equipment but keep the boy with you as a hostage during your escape, go there. I don't know. Do you want to adopt a child?
Nah, fuck the child. Fuck the child.
All right. So I guess it's the first option then.
Yeah, we're gonna have to get rid of all the weight to escape. It would be good to keep the child, but if we did, they'll probably just be able to keep it up with us anyway.
Yeah.
Letting the boy go free at the last possible moment, you grab the sledge whip and lash the dogs, driving them for everything they are worth. Like a Homer in the Simpsons movie. Jump, 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 rest, rest, rest. On all sides, flurries of arrows whistle past you, and several thud into the framework of the empty sledge. A couple of the Ice Barbarian scouts give chase, but your dog team is now much faster, and you soon outdistance even their arrows. By nightfall, you reach the very edge of the Viad Mountains. This vast granite range rises sheer... What the fuck? This vast granite range rises sheer out of the ice and snow and presents you with an impassable barrier on such a moonless night. Meanwhile, a wind arises in the west, heralding a night squall. You must find shelter, or you'll surely perish in the blizzard. If you have Kai Discipline of Tracking or Sixth Sense, 348. If you don't have either of these skills, you can look for shelter towards the north. If you prefer, you can search towards the south. Alright, let's use our tracking this time.
Okay. Your Kai discipline reveals to you that there are a network of caves less than a couple 100 yards to the south. You abandon the sledge and herd southwards.
You have explored only 100 yards of the rock face when you discover a large fissure, the entrance to a cave. In your eagerness to escape from the bitter wind, you quickly enter, and in the darkness, fail to notice the crevasse that divides this cave in two. In a tumble of ice and stone, you fall head first into the dark.
Oh my god, what is it with us hitting our head? You fall over 30 feet and land flat on your back in the snow-filled crevasse. You are surrounded by sharp stalagmites and jagged ice, but you have miraculously escaped death and injury. Shaken, but thankful to be alive, you stagger to your feet and grasp a crystal stalagmite for support. You slowly become aware that you can see your hands quite clearly. A faint light is seeping from the fissure to your left. But curiosity gave the better of your natural caution. You stagger across the crevasse floor and explore this mysterious cave.
After a few hundred yards, you find yourself in a huge cavern that spreads out in all directions as far as the eye can see. You have entered the Caverns of Kalte, that's the title of the book, and are now looking at an uncharted world that few Somlending have ever seen. This massive underground labyrinth was constructed by the ancients many ages before the Somlending set foot in Magnamund. Its wide avenues, temples and arenas once echoed to the sounds of a race of creatures for whom the ice was a natural home. Mlair bowls still hang from the ceiling, bathing the caverns in their eternal light. You trek steadily northwards for nearly 6 hours, until you arrive at the bank of fast-flowing Meltwater River. On the opposite bank, you see a tunnel leading off into the distance. You can find no apparent way of crossing the deep water, except by using the ice floes bobbing up and down on the surface. By jumping from one floe to the next, you could get to the opposite bank, but it will not be easy. You will have to jump at least 3 of the icy slabs to reach the other side. Pick a number from the random number table. If you have the Kai Discipline of Hunting, you may add 2 to the number you've picked. If your current endurance points total is less than 8, deduct 2 from the number you've picked.
Holy shit.
Oh, God.
Low.
If your score is
roll.
-2 to +3, then to 94. If it's 4 to 11, 176. I swear if we die because of this. You have... Sorry, this yours.
It's blurry for me. Go for it.
Right, you have slipped and fallen into the icy water, The shock makes you scream out in pain as cramp bites into your legs. You fight with all the strength you have to reach the bank, but it is a desperate struggle. Pick a number from the random number table. We need 0 to 6. Phew.
Yay, low numbers.
If the number you picked
but
is
we
0 to
lose
6,
3
you are
endurance
lucky.
points.
You drag yourself from the icy water and lie exhausted on the bank. Lose 3 endurance points and turn to 176. If the number you picked was 7 to 9, the icy water soon paralyzes your arms and within minutes you drown. Your mission ends here.
Well, you could die, or you could survive. Throw the dice, see what happens. Running for the tunnel entrance, you quickly leave the icy river far behind. You follow the tunnel for countless hours as it bends its way northward. It becomes impossible to recall what hour of the day it is. The perpetual half-light of these caverns never changes. Through fissures in the wall of the tunnel, you catch glimpses of the other chambers, and you marvel at the sheer scale of the labyrinth. You are nearly asleep on your feet when you suddenly detect the aroma of cooked meat. It's coming from a chamber a few yards ahead to your right. You're very hungry and must soon eat a meal. Do we want to?
It's cooked
Do
food,
we want
man.
to?
I feel hungry just thinking about it.
Burgers and hot dogs.
It's gotta be. It's up to Mackie D's in the corner.
Oh. All right, let's go
McDonald's.
to it.
I mean, knowing McDonald's, they probably would have put one in an ice cavern.
Yeah, right next to the Starbucks.
You can see 2 men in ragged clothes huddled together beside a fire that seems to be burning inside a small metal bowl. Over the flames, the skinned carcass of a small animal is roasting on a spit. The men are old and toothless, and they have a strange glint of madness in their slanted eyes. This dude.
Damn, that dude looks scary.
That was this little black thing.
Look at his chest, though. It's so cute. He's got like a little poster of a little thing on his chest.
That thing is disgusting. Look at it, man. Look at those little sharp teeth.
It's cute.
Ugh. If you wish to approach them and ask for some of their food, turn to 295. If you wish to attack them, 14. If you wish to ignore them and continue on your way, 132. Well, might as well ask them for some food.
Yeah, let's be nice. Come on, unblur. Come on, unblur. It'll unblur any minute now.
Not working.
Any minute now. It'll unblur the moment you start talking, though.
Right. On seeing you enter, the 2 old men jump to their feet and flee from the chamber along a smaller passageway. Their screams of panic echo loudly throughout the caverns. You are very hungry and quickly consume the cooked animal, pausing only to spit out the bones. You then notice that the fire is burning in a strange half-spherical metal bowl. The other half of the sphere lies on the icy floor nearby, and you find that both halves fit together perfectly. When you open it, you discover that the fire still burns inside. If you wish to keep this fire sphere, place it inside your jacket and mark it on your action chart as a special item.
You got a ball of fire.
You can tell this is going to be useful for keeping us warm. Return to the tunnel by turning to 132.
We'll just cook our oil on our skin with it. Unless you have eaten a meal, you lose 3 endurance points from hunger. You continue along the tunnel for over a mile, but you soon become tired and stop to sleep. You awake, feeling refreshed, but have no idea just how long you have been sleeping. The light of these caverns never changes, be it day or night. You continue onward, mile after mile, passing through a series of huge ice walls containing towering pillars of crystal. In one vast chamber, you are mesmerized by a beautiful sight of a shimmering crystal ceiling. But beyond this chamber lies an even greater spectacle. A narrow passage leads onto a ledge running around the brink of a huge chasm, over half a mile wide. As you edge your way around this awesome void, you try not to look down into its windswept depths many miles below. You have been on the ledge for only a few minutes when a noise behind you makes you glance back. To your horror, you are being followed by a monstrous 2-headed serpent. Dun dun dun. If you have tracking or animal kinship, turn to that page. If you do not have these skills, well, you're screwed.
You recognize the serpent to be a Javik, a 2-headed and deadly poisonous ice snake. As it slithers nearer, You can clearly see the open jaw of the second head and the yellow curved fangs dripping with the venom. It moves very quickly, and you know that you will not be able to outrun it along this narrow ledge. If you possess a fire sphere, 46. If you do not, you must prepare to fight.
Hey, we just got that thing. You remove the fire sphere from your jacket, quickly split open the two halves and place them upon the narrow ledge behind. The Javik hisses loudly, both its heads weaving and darting at you in rage. It is desperate to attack, but will not approach the fire sphere. Instead, it attempts to slither around the flames, but the ledge is very narrow, no more than a foot wide. It cannot pass without singeing itself. Eventually, angry but powerless, the strange reptile resigns itself to failure and disappears back along the ledge into the passageway beyond. You can now retrieve your fire sphere and continue your exploration.
Oh yeah, already coming in clutch.
What a handy little thing.
You reach a tunnel on the far side of the chasm and follow it for many miles. You eventually arrive at an enormous chamber, the ceiling of which towers 500 feet above you. An icy wind, blowing through the many fissures that crack the ceiling, whips around the hall. If you wish to search for a way of climbing up and out through the fissures, 335. If you decide to press on and look for an exit on the far side of the hall, 182.
What do you think?
I'm always up for a bit of exploring. Let's go
Alright.
335.
You find that the icy rock face offers many handholds, but you cannot find a secure grip with your fur mittens on. But if you remove your mittens in order to climb, you know that frostbite is inevitable. If you wish to risk your life and your hands, you can continue to climb by turning to that page. If you decide to abandon your climb, you can descend to the hall below and search another exit.
I want to save at this point here.
I don't want to lose our hands though, but
That's why I'm saving. I just want to see what happens.
All right, let's do it.
Let the record show that I want 182. I'm just exploring 55.
Is it
Yeah,
you
I
or
thought
me?
so. Okay, this is basically as bad as what's the word? As bad as death. You are less, because I think I remember this from a long while back. Is it my turn to read? I'll read it. It doesn't
I
count.
think so.
You are less than 100 feet from the top when the pain begins to fade. Eventually, you no longer feel anything with your hands. All sensation below your forearms is totally numbed by frostbite. With one last effort, you reach a narrow ice shelf where you can kneel and rest. But you soon discover to your dismay that it is impossible to climb any further. You are faced by sheer walls of ice that offer no handholds on their smooth surfaces. You will have to return the way you came. It is over 4 hours before the feeling returns to your hands. The frostbite is serious and you lose 5 endurance points. In addition to this, you also lose 2 points from your initial combat skill. This loss is permanent and will affect you for the rest of your life.
Oh no!
That's why I saved. It takes a further 5 hours to reach the bottom in safety. Exhausted and in great pain, you steel yourself to find another exit from this icy hellhole. So the permanent loss is just the combat skill, not the endurance point.
But our combat skills are baby.
So that's why I for the record, wanted 182.
Okay. You discover a low passage that opens out into a cavern full of stalagmites. There are 2 exits in the opposite ice wall. Both disappear into darkness. In the snow around the entrances of both tunnels are many strange tracks. If you have tracking like we got earlier, go to this page, or otherwise go right or left.
Man, you always managed to pick the right skill. The book.
Yeah.
Tracking's been really useful, as much, even more than 6%. The tracks have been made by dangerous and carnivorous creatures called Baknar. If you run into them in the confines of a dark and narrow tunnel, your chances of survival will be very slim indeed. Although your Kai discipline has enabled you to identify the tracks, you are unable to sense which tunnel the Baknar occupy, left or right.
Oh, so that doesn't help us at all anyways. I say always go left.
Always left? Alright.
After a short walk, you arrive at a massive ice hall full of crystal stalagmites and stalactites. The floor is covered with animal tracks and bones, yet the vast hall seems empty and still. You notice that the northern wall is is a completely smooth surface of granite, blocks stretching upwards to the icy ceiling, over 100 feet above. You suddenly realize that you are staring at the foundation stones of IKEA. You have reached the ice fortress. You have seen the foundation of IKEA.
Would you like some Swedish meatballs? Are those the meatballs here?
Would you like this couch? You have to build it yourself. I don't know, Swedish accent. Partially obscured by a large mound of crystals, you can just make out a ramp leading up to a massive stone door in a fortress wall. Your discovery brings renewed hope. If you can gain entry to IKEA, you quickly capture Vonotar. There's still time to reach your ship, the Cardinal, before the pack ice starts to freeze. If you wish to cross the icy hall and examine the stone door, turn to that page. If you decide to stop and search a bone-littered floor, turn to that page. The question is, like, can we look at the floor and the door?
I don't see any reason why not.
I mean, might as well look at the floor before we like walk into a trap or something. That's my guess.
You discover that many of the bones scattered along the stalagmites are of human origin. Shattered skulls, skeletal hands, and rib cages lie half buried in the ice. You're about to abandon your search when a small box made of carved bone catches your eye. If you wish to open the box, 218. If you prefer to leave it, you can examine the fortress door by turning to 52.
Okay, I kind of want to say save and let's look at the box. Because there's a chance we're going to die from this.
Is it reminding you of... It reminds me of the captain's box that we tried to open before on the ship.
Yep.
And we got hit by a poison dart. The bone contains a beautiful diamond. Its many facets gleam and sparkle, even in the dim half-light of the ice hall. In Summerland, a jewel of this size and quality would be worth thousands of crowns. If you wish to keep the diamond, slip it into a pocket and mark it on your action chart as a special item. Let's take it.
Yeah.
Alright, we got ourselves a diamond. Now examine
We're
the fortress door.
rich.
I hope it's not a bad thing. You know, I just want to make a quick point here. I went back into... Remember the very first book when we got the Vordak gem?
Yeah.
When we killed that Vordak. Basically, when we had those three options to either swim, go on the horse, or go into the graveyard to get to the main city, if you go through the graveyard and you fight one of the undead, basically, there's two options. If you have the Vordak gem, you bypass the fight, and the Vordak gem explodes right then and there, and you lose endurance points and one combat skill for the rest of your life.
Well, I'm glad we lost that shit then.
Yeah, and it's only ever relevant in that book, so if we carried it forward into these books, it would just be a waste of space.
Well, we would always have it and remember it. Be like, we burnt our hand to pick that up. One day we'll sell it. One day. Is this you or me?
This is you.
As you climb a slippery stone ramp, the sound of cracking ice makes you spin around. A large mound of crystals at the base of the ramp is beginning to move. The crystals are alive! You stare in disbelief as the mound is transformed into a writhing mass of crystal coils. The coils unwind, and the ice creature slithers towards you. If you wish to evade the creature and run towards the stone door, go that. If you wish to fight it, go there. I don't know about you, but I would be scared that this is like a very powerful sentinel of some kind.
Yeah, I'm not really sure how we're going to fight an ice creature. I mean, we could dash a fire sphere at it. I don't know. But, yeah, I think we should escape.
Yeah. Hold on 1 second. I'll be right back. Alright, back.
Alright, cool. So we're going to evade the creature.
Yeah. Is this you or me?
You.
As you reach the massive door, you desperately cast your eyes over it in hope of discovering a way to make it open. The door is completely smooth. It has no handle, lock, or keyhole. The creature will soon reach the top of the ramp. and you are about to cry out in desperation when you notice a block of granite set into a nearby wall. It has a small triangle cut on its surface. If you possess the bluestone triangle, go there. If you do not, go there.
Gotta go
Well,
here. This is the same one as the fight.
yep.
Okay, we're about to reach the hour mark, so I'm going to end this episode here, and then we'll continue from this point next episode. So, guys,
Look
thank you
at
very
that
much for
badass
watching.
thing we gotta fight.
Yeah. Let's actually leave you guys with the picture of this creature. So, guys, thank you very much for watching. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to both me and Karzie. I'll put our links at the end, and I'll see you next time in part 2 of the Caverns of Kalte, where we fight this big ice snake creature.
Bye-bye.